Hey everybody, welcome back. More Arcade Spirits. Not going to spend a ton of time rambling just so I don't, blow my voice out more. We're just going to do Chapter 3 because I figure I was hoping for middle of the week before I took a day off, and now I realize that if we do Chapter 3, that'll give us a chapter a day for all of next week. We'll wrap up by next Friday. Yesterday was pretty chill. Joe and I both wound up taking the day off. She's actually going to be streaming tonight instead. Um, um, but it was just for me. We did the G1 Game Days podcast until 1 in the morning because we were trying to get through all of the a good chunk of the E3 news. I'll say that. And then I wound up setting up chatting with Jimbo about, you know, administrative stuff and whatever until like 2 in the morning. I didn't get to sleep until like 3, and I woke up at 7:30. So it was just like I'm I'm especially not mentally focused enough to play this game today, so I didn't. Most of what I did, besides just like watching YouTube and stuff, was in cleaning. I poked at the Breath of the Wild DLC a little bit. I found the dungeon that was missing from the first game. There are 50 levels and you can save at very specific points. Other than that, you have to do the whole thing over, and I've just done terribly at it. So now I'm on shrine hunting to get more hearts to make it a little easier, have a little more defense going in, because it's, you start with no armor and no weapons. So like the first level, you have to at least kill the first enemy with a bomb or a tree branch and then steal their weapons to get to proceed. If you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you can actually just magic up bombs anytime you want. Then I also did some of the, like, we put some silly bonus items in the game, bonus like Easter eggy items in the game that you can find. They're not amazing, they're not good armor, but you can find them. And the first one I found was Majora's Mask. So, like, yeah, this is fine. I just have Majora's Mask now. Yeah, that was for the most part what my day was like. And then we watched, and then continuing to be silly, we stayed up and watched the entire Critical Role Campaign 2 wrap up, which is so just satisfying to see them finally answer what they could. So it was definitely stuff Matt wanted to keep close to the vest, just especially for stuff going forward, but actually seeing them talk about what went into their characters, talk about what went into some of the world building. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was neat. It was really neat to see the creative process from a lot of really creative people. So I enjoyed it quite a bit, and along with watching it, Joe, I was also chatting with my D&D group, because we're all Critical Role fans over there. We play in the same, in the same world that the campaign that just wrapped up is in. So it was nice. It was really nice. It's obviously you can only have those once a campaign wraps up, but it's really fun to see the creative process, and also answer some of those burning fan theory questions, because there was one that Elizabeth, who plays our bard Temerity, had her theory about, and it was way worse than she thought it was. I won't go into which one that was. I can't remember what her theory was, but anyway, we're gonna get back to Arcade Spheres. We're gonna do Chapter 3. I think this is us holding the big event that we reveal our secret super rare game, if I remember right. At least that's what they alluded to at the end of the last chapter. We managed to get a oh, that was the thing I wanted to bring up too. Shoot, I got a notification on my phone of someone responding to a thing I mentioned. Off stream, obviously, but I kind of wanted to touch on. But we went to a arcade auction and got not Dragon's Lair. We got Wyvern's Keep, which is a gender swapped Dragon's Lair, which was an old. If you've never heard of Dragon's Lair, oh, it's Max Time, right? Okay, I can't remember exactly where we were in the story. Yeah, so we got that by letting Hamza in on our dream and our hopes and just all the crap we've dealt with in our lives. And now we want to try and be event coordinator, basically. we want to try to actually start making events. And Sharky, hello. Yeah, we want to be more for the arcade, so we're starting chapter 3 today. I don't think I reflected that in the title at all, did I? No, not really. Also, I am saving these out. I am highlighting these to keep arcade spirits around. Anyway, the thing I wanted to touch on. Wizards announced, Wizards of the Coast, the people who make Dungeons and Dragons, people who make Magic the Gathering, announced a new... I'll probably never find it now. Oh wait, I responded to it. I can find it. It's like a DM contest where they'll pull 10 entries from people making like a complex trap, and then there's a second thing for top 10, and I think whoever wins from the top 10, their entries will be read during the D&D live live stream event that they're gonna do, and they'll give you some books, and you'll have like an article in their magazine, whatever. But if you look at the terms and conditions, the real trap, it specifically says, by entering this contest, entrant hereby grants Wizards a perpetual, irrevocable, royalty-free... I love how I can look at it and I know how to pronounce it, but since it doesn't look the way I think it sounds, it screws me up. Royalty-free, worldwide license to use, reproduce, publish, and distribute entries submitted without payment of any compensation or consideration to any entrant or any other person or entity, except the prizes. So they're going to get a whole bunch of really interesting traps that they can now yeah, it's a terrible trap. They now basically get your work for free that they can publish wherever they want. Not that I'm a DM, really. I've DM'd one campaign. I wouldn't mind doing it again with a different group. But homebrewing has never been my strong suit, but I definitely wouldn't homebrew anything for that, knowing that they just get the rights to it in perpetuity. In perpetuity, sorry. There's the word. No, it's just you're just giving them your stuff for free, with the complete knowledge that you're giving it to them for free. No. Make sure your work gets paid for, because you deserve it. All right. Let us those tunes for these tunes. I am playing on the Xbox, by the way. There we go. And also, I'm not really a silly voice kind of person, so I'm pretty much going to be reading this straight. If you haven't been here before. So, when it loads, we'll be at Chapter 3. And we're just going to do Chapter 3 today. Oh yeah, you're right. Take it to the max. I mean, not that I doubt Joe knows every single chapter of this game, but also try not to make too much noise when I am fucking on gummy bears to try to make my throat not kill me like the end of chapter 1, or the end of day 1, I should say. Because the first 2 hours of the stream were us reacting, like watching and reacting to the Nintendo conference. So it was like I got as far as first day I got as far as meeting Ashley. And I was like, alright, second half of the day, it's like, cool, my throat is burning, we're gonna stop. Alright, it is the future year of 20XCX. Today is the day. Well, not the actual big day, we reveal Wyvern Keep, but a big day in relation to that big day. I'm completely stressed out. My mission, should I choose to accept it, and I kinda already chose to accept it, it's to spread the word about the upcoming Funplex event. The one that I'm in charge of. One that I've put a ton of effort and hope into already. The one where if nobody shows up, it spells doom for all. Yeah, no pressure, right? I mean, if I fail, it'll only be I'll only be the laughingstock of the entire Funplex. They'll call me the Funplex failure for the rest of my days. I'll be shamed, forced to wear a giant red F on my chest. Snap out of it. I was gonna say, you are hyperboleing real bad right now. Let's focus on what's right here, right now. Specifically, a giant conglomerate horde of people that keep bumping into me. Yep, welcome to conventions. And smell like corn chips. Welcome to conventions. And there's nowhere to run. If you go to a convention, make sure you plan ahead, and also make sure you know if there is a safe room, or an AFK room, as it's called at PAX. Somewhere where you can go and decompress, because especially first convention, it can be a lot, and it can be a lot of just sensory overload. Alright. Also, we had another fire alarm today, but it was because they're specifically testing the fire system, so it was one of those, like, I put my mask on just in case to let Joe know, which we found out if the bedroom door is closed, we can't hear the fire alarm. That was a fun discovery to be assured of. Thankfully we don't sleep with the bedroom door closed, but still. It went off like a minute later. It's like, I'm not that concerned because I know they're specifically messing with this system, but let's be cautious just in case. Keep an eye out. Alright. I forgot to mention that part, but back in the game, we might be a little over our head here. Working in the arcade, I've gotten used to smaller crowds. My skin has gotten a little thicker and resistant to sticky soda hands touching me accidentally. But nothing could have prepared me for the sheer scope and scale of this. Just me and, I don't know, 50,000 people. Hey, Sean. We're at max. Or pretend it's max east because we're East Coast. Or at least I'm East Coast and Joe's East Coast. I know Naomi's the one who doesn't like crowds, not me, but come on now, this isn't a crowd, this is a Gojira-sized evacuation mosh pit. Complete with Gojira-sized screens hanging overhead, constantly showing advertisements for arcade games and industry happenings. Also Deco's Palace, apparently. Wow, it's so exciting. Isn't it exciting, Dan? I mean, that's a word, yeah. I've never really been one to one of these things. What a spectacle. Thanks for giving me a ticket. I really need to get away for the weekend.
Ooh.
Hey Dan, how you holding up? Looking a little green around the gills there. I can smile through this, I can't smile through this, or everything is fine. I'm gonna go steady on this one. I'm not okay. My nightmares aren't half as scary as this literal hell. I can deal with the lack of pants in my dreamland. But this is utter chaos. The only reason I was kind of used to this sort of thing when we went to PAX the first time was just going to things like home shows, going to the outdoor show in my hometown, or, you know, a little north of my hometown. Like, I'd been to conventions, and even though this is a convention that is catered to me, it's still a convention. So it's like I had a general idea of what to expect, but it's still a lot of people and a lot of stimulus. Honestly, I'm not holding up so well. This place is bonkers.
BFFs for life.
No, this is exactly why I came here with you. To help you in your hour of need. And to get away for the weekend, but still, hour of need. It's true, Juniper has helped me get through a lot, but beyond generalities. I think she specifically wants to make it up for me for the whole job offer situation. It's nice to have her here. We're not going to let a little thing like that say the sticking point between us. So, what's the plan? Huh? I can't just stand around all day, Dan. There's a lot of ground we need to cover to make your Funplex a success. How are we going to attack this? What's the first move? I was just gonna... Alright, a little flummy today. Just going to sort of play it by ear? You didn't plan for this? Like, at all? I was too busy lying awake all night, stressing out to worry about planning things. Look, I'm new at event management, much less event promotion. Dan... Oh, let's start with this. Juniper swings her book bag off her shoulders and crouches on the ground. She opens it up and pulls out a sack of papers. Hold these. I cradle them in my arms. Okay, I'm holding these. What are these exactly? Why, you're silly. The ones you want for promoting your big event. I managed to print off quite a few before the boss started giving me weird looks. Why are copier rules always so strict in office jobs? It's just paper, and I needed it. It's also the ink. I flip a sheet over, and I start to remember. Also, why did she hand it to us upside down? It was about 2 weeks ago. Ashley and I were holding down the fort that day. Gavin locked himself in the office and told me that if I bothered him for anything other than an emergency, that I would not live to regret it. Francine stayed home that day. She was marathoning a competitive knitting show, or, something like that. Naomi was out shopping for some extra parts. The Dig Dug machine was acting up again. The buttons were sticking from some kid spilling a slushie on it. Yeah, for me it was just money, especially because I was making minimum wage, and also not even just the convention ticket, but even after I got to Boston, it's like, well, I still need to get a hotel in Boston. I still need to get a bus from Bangor to Boston. So that was like a 4-hour trip. It became a lot different when we moved to Portland and got interested. We have been to 3. Got our passes up here. I probably can't see them that great because the camera's small, but got a... No, they use other names, but they specifically say, like, hey, all of these are copyright by the people who actually own the copyright. We're not trying to do anything, and they're all listed trademark. They can say the name, but they can't, like, put the picture of the machine in the game. There's nothing to just mention, Dig Dug Galaga Tetris with a trademark. No one's gonna after them over it. There's another thing to say, yeah, look at these games that this arcade has. Yeah, we've been to 3. There's one of our passes. And then we were going to go to last year's East, but money got in the way. Also if they're making fun of it, they're not going to use the actual name. Like, they don't specifically name E.T., but they very much describe exactly E.T. in the beginning. Oh shoot! And I want to, before I go, if you're still here, John, I want to boot up the PC version and show you the character creator real quick. I just don't want to mess with my save, What started as a pretty boring day in an empty Funplex changed rapidly when Teo came into the Funplex carrying an armload of giant rolled-up posters.
Hello there.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Ashley. Welcome home, Teo. Welcome home.
Hiya.
Good morning, my fair Teo. How art thou? I think I've only ever seen E.T. on the bus. And, a bus to Boston or a bus to Portland from Bangor, one of the two. And, I did play the game when I was a kid, because we had cousins who had an Atari. We'd bring it to my grandparents' house. I think actually they left it at their grandparents' house for a long time. And then, you know, it wasn't good. We also made too many of them. But that's a story for another day. Also, did anybody watch the Polybius video I posted up in the Discord? I know Joe has seen it. You know, because it's something I watched, so she probably at least saw that I was watching it. Oh yeah, I mean, there's other movies I haven't seen too. Only so. Freaking excited. Might explode to 1,000 bits. Please don't. That'd be an awful mess to clean up. We don't nearly have enough hydrogen peroxide to get out the bloodstains. I don't have the plastic tub full of lye to dissolve your body parts in. Not to mention the years of therapy Dan and I will have to go through to get over how horrible it would be to watch your friend die violently in front of you. I just can't afford it.
Sheesh.
It's just a turn of phrase. Chill. I'm not going to literally explode. But, guess what's happening in 2 weeks? Something huge for us. They showed a compilation of internet cat videos at the movie quad? Right now you're just being mean. Please tell me you're finally going to replace a blindingly horrid casino-like carpet beneath our feet. Doesn't even look like that's right. Hey, I like the carpet. It's fun. No. Okay. I guess I've teased it enough. Theo took the poster he was clutching and unravels them before us. It's Max time.
Oh my gosh.
Max? Max is already here?
Poops.
I thought that wasn't for another month. It means I've really got to double down on my cosplay production. Say goodbye to sleeping for the next 2 weeks. I've got so much to do now.
Bummer.
I know, right? We'll have to meet with all the dancers and work on our synchronized dance routine. Nearly not enough time to perfect it. And I have to find a good time and a place for an international Showtime stage community gathering. I still have to finish my hand sewing all the embellishments in my tailcoat. Find or make a decent pocket watch. Start and finish my 3rd cosplay. Death take me now. Oh, hold on, can we go back a minute? What exactly is Max? The best gaming convention, they yell at me at the same time, somehow. Ever. Did you both plan to say that in unison? Regardless, I'm still mostly confused and require further exposition. Max is a Mega Arcade Expo, an annual arcade gaming convention. It happens every year around this time over on the West Coast. This year they're going to have a Max right here in our city, and it's going to be the biggest one yet. Yeah, so this is literally like when PAX finally came over to Boston.
Yes!
I always go every year and show off my newest cosplay.
Love it.
Great way to meet a whole bunch of other arcade people. And catch up with those who you haven't seen since the last convention. It's so much fun! Okay, yes, okay, I see why you're both excited. Sounds cool. Yep, and I was thinking we could put up some Max posters around the Funplex. You know, get all the locals hyped about it. Yeah, exactly. How PAX Show for Penny Arcade Expo, yeah. That's a splendid idea, Teo. Finally, an East Coast Max. Okay, so it literally is Max East. You gotta make sure everybody knows about it. That we do. Teo, Ashley, and I spent the next half an hour putting up posters around the Funplex. We plastered as many surfaces as we could without making it look too obscene. While we were pushing pins into the wall, Teo and Ashley kept telling a story of past Maxes and all the fun they had. Their spirit was infectious at the very least, hard for me to avoid ending up on the hype train. Choo-choo! Is this a cue to try and get people to start a hype train in the chat? I'm not actually worried about it, but... But more importantly, the more I heard, the more I started thinking about how we could use this event to benefit the Funplex in some way. As the Funplex's newly minted event manager, I had to be on the lookout for opportunities like these. Their very first Max East. It'd be perfect. Hey, can we promote the Funplex's event at Max? Good for local buzz, and maybe we can convince some out-of-towners to stick around for it. Ooh, that's the one you've been working on, right, Dan? Yeah, I've got ideas for tournaments, token discounts, much to Gavin's displeasure, and more. And we'll be revealing the new game we got from the raid. I see, do you have a name for this grand event yet? Yeah, Dan, what's it called? I'm thinking long and hard on coming up with the perfect name, and I probably should have actually thought about a name for this. I think I figured it out. Are you ready? Am I? Spence is killing us. The Funplex event will be called... Not that. Definitely not Funplex Rising. What should our grand reopening event be called? Well, not Funplex Rising. I don't know. I'm bad at naming things. I usually use like a random name generator. Like even my D&D characters, I just spin a random name generator until something catches my eye. Or I just roll on the table and do it until something sounds right. Okay. Okay. Because we're debuting a fantasy game. I don't know if we'd want to put that in the title. Ask Joe, who will inevitably be busy now with work. Pardon me. Of course, you're in the middle of the chat. Yeah, told you. I don't know. Also, it would have been nice if I'd put a space in there. It just feels like exactly the same thing as Rising. I'm calling it butts. We're just going to talk about butts for the next entire chapter. It's an event to try to get people to come. I mean, the name is just a fill in the blank to Mad Lib, basically, but. This is why I don't get into marketing. I'm bad at it. We can just go with the gag. Call it G1 Game Day. We just go with the gag. What do we think? This is not game days, it's one event, so it'd be a game day. If you don't know, I host over at G1 Game Days. Come by over there. On Sunday, especially. I mean, come all weekend if you can, but especially come this Sunday over at twitch.tv/G1_Game Days. I'll be hosting some Mario Kart 8 at 9 o'clock, and you can drive along as well if you've got the game. I think I'm just going to roll with this because it's an idea. And I mean, it could. I don't think this is going to carry over to the next game. There'll be a decision later that will matter more. Put it that way. There's a decision later that will matter more. I don't think it's transferred. I'm just gonna go with this. G1 Game Day. I was thinking of calling it G1 Game Day. How's that sound, I wonder? Yeah, it works. We'll call it G1 Game Day. What do you think, huh? Oh, I do so love it.
Amazing!
It's perfect. Really? You named it G1 Game Day? There are worse things you could have called it. Kinda catchy, though. Nice work, friends. Thanks, you two. So, how do I get tickets to Max? How can we advertise there? And, how much would all that cost? I'm still living off pizza bagels, you know. You don't already have your tickets? They sell out on, like, day one, my friends. Actually, they sell out in about 20 minutes on day one, and all the hotel rooms are gone way sooner. Oh, no. My greatest plan's foiled.
Beep beep.
Dan, while you were all talking, I located all the scalpers who were selling tickets online at exorbitant prices. Then I hacked into their IP addresses, found less than tasteful information on a couple of them, which would make their lives very difficult if it got out into the open. After contacting them, I promised I wouldn't leak such sensitive materials into the internet in exchange for selling us tickets at their original prices.
Hooray!
And I gladly obliged. Just nice humans. Transfer the funds from your account to theirs and secure the tickets. We're getting an email for 2 Max tickets in approximately 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh, and I suggest you invite Juniper to come along as your second. According to Juniper's Iris, she's very stressed for her job and could use a mini vacation. Okay, Iris. It's kind of known as blackmail. What you did is technically very, very illegal. Don't worry, Dan. I erase all the possible leads back to you. You'll be fine. That's all in the name of helping the Funplex, isn't it? Just like you wanted me to do? Well, Iris has been dedicating herself to this event. I couldn't be doing it without her. Even if we need to have another talk about human ethics. Fine. Fine, but next time, let's do it without any federal crimes, okay? Okay, it's a promise. Regardless, hey, tickets! Now you can go! Sweet! Now I'm not gonna have, maybe a few cold-hearted, bloodthirsty ticket scalpers myself. Those guys ruin events like Max. Yeah, basically. It's a personal assistant, but it also has, you know, it has Deus Ex Machina to help us find love and find the perfect job. You know. Also, from the last part, she's capable of overloading our phone battery until it explodes in our pants. And catches fire. Also, while I was procuring your tickets, I stumbled across the Funplex's FaceWall account. Better than a Samsung, right? At least she warned us she was going to do it. Also, there's some sort of holographic 3D screen in this universe, so it looks like she actually sits on our phone sometimes. I mean, since I know that word, or that phrase. It hasn't been updated in exactly 13 weeks, 2 days, 14 hours, and 54 seconds. Funplex's social media presence is completely non-existent. Wait, we have a FaceWall account? Yeah, it does make sense, but still, I had no clue of its existence. I sort of run it. I'm really bad at keeping up on it, though. Actually, her pants are not in the fun way. There you go, babe. That sounds like it'd be Gavin's thing. Why isn't he in charge of it? Gavin couldn't care less about social media. He says that, and I quote, "Social media is where idiots go to yell at each other about nothing of any importance, and I'm not going to waste any time with it." That's a great mindset, Gavin, and you're not wrong. Yeah, that also sounds like Gavin. Yep, and Francine is too old to understand the importance of social media. Naomi's way too busy with all her beloved games, so it fell into my hands. It's as Iris stated, I haven't been doing a great job of it. Oh, well, we should take advantage of it for this. We can use the FaceWall account to spread the word of G1 Game Day. You're completely right. I should work harder at it. Or, if you want, you could take over. As the event manager, that makes sense. I mean, if she's something she's already struggling with and it's not something she's particularly passionate about, let's take it and maybe we can have Iris handle it. I really should take on this responsibility. It can only benefit the Funplex, and Ashley's right. Getting the word out is part of being an event manager. Right, Ashley, I got this. Can you email me the login info? Yep and yep. Ashley pulls out her phone and fiddles with it for a minute. Login get. Congratulations, you're the new owner for our social media accounts. Huzzah, the power is all mine. Fine. Ashley, you sure you want to give Dan this much power? Now, the fact that he threw his head back and cackled isn't sign enough, I don't know what else is. I'm not worried one bit. Excellent. Dan, I can help the Funpacks keep up with the face wall, too. I can program timed posts and use effective keywords to get the most out of each post. SEO is one of my many, many talents. That'd be helpful, actually. Just, don't break any laws. You're right. Who is still using Facewall? Really?
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, but, don't break any laws. Understood. Do I have permission to access your contacts on your Facewall? Sure. And there. Send out notifications to everyone on your friends list and your friends' list about G1 Game Day. That was fast. Ah, no joke. One more thing. Your site should have about 75% more images. Did you know that 90% of people prefer looking at pictures online rather than reading? Sometimes I just don't understand you sentient beings. Your eyes just make a good point. We should totally come up with a poster for our event. We can hand them out at Max, too. And, of course, put them up around the arcade. Okay, the arcade isn't too hectic today. Ashley, if you can watch the floor, I can go design a sweet flyer to pass out to the congoers. Time to deploy my mad artist skills.
Ooh.
Sounds like a plan. Make this the best Max ever. One we'll never forget. Yeah, people who don't understand Tweeter. I spent the rest of the afternoon working hard on having the perfect design for our poster. Well, a design for our poster, at any rate. Which brings me back around to the sack of papers currently in my arms. Which do not, in fact, resemble the posters that I designed. I took the liberty of tuning your poster just a little, and changing the font selection, and picking out new clip art, and rearranging everything, and using a poppier color scheme. But I liked my original design.
Come on.
Dan, you used Comic Sans and Papyrus. I don't like this image of me that the game is crafting. I don't know what conventions are, or or know not to use those designs. Comic Sans is cool, right? Looks like a comic book. Gamer nerds love comic books, don't they? And Papyrus was in that movie with the blue cat people, aliens, everybody loved. That's getting a new video game soon-ish. At least it's getting a new video game, for reasons. Like, I don't know why it's getting a game, or like 5 more other movies. Anyway. Thinking from a wannabe visual designer, Comic Sans is a one-way ticket to the uncool zone. These new flash are going to pull people in from the 4 corners of the globe. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess these are kinda not bad. Pretty good, actually. It was culturally important. It was Fern Gully, but 3D. It was culturally important because it did really good 3D. It wasn't culturally important because it was interesting in any way. Quote a scene from Avatar. Okay, they're superior by every conceivable metric. Avatar. Not the last Airbender, the James Cameron Avatar. I didn't know you were an artist, Juniper.
Well, I mean...
I'm not really. I mean, I guess I'm good at pretending to be one, but I couldn't, like, make art for a living, right? I couldn't, Anyway. That sack isn't enough. I also emailed you a copy of the original file. Just take it to a copy shop or something. They can run off more. Publishing document get. So, back to the point at hand. Getting the information to the masses. Maybe we just start yelling? Hey, you guys! Several people turn around to look at us confusedly. Juniper.
What?
Yelling is probably not the best way to get our word out. I'm actually still waiting for Ashley and Teo to show up. They promised that they would help me. So I think I'll just hang out until they arrive. As you like. Seems my work here is done. Juniper pulls out her phone and checks it. You Funplex folks swing some flyers. As for me, there's a really cool panel I wanted to attend. How to get your foot in the door of the arcade art industry. I mean, not that I'm seriously thinking about it, just, you know, it's interesting and stuff.
Later.
No, it's starting in 10 minutes. I'll catch up with you at home. Good luck, Dan. Hopefully it's not already full. Usually you want to be there early of the start of the lineup time, not 10 minutes before the panel starts. Juniper waves as she trots off. I lose sight of her instantly as she ducks into the crowd. Growing up, I always knew that arcades were amazingly popular, but the reality of it all really didn't stick until being here at MAX. Thousands of people all coming together for the love of games. Actually pretty darn inspiring. I muster enough courage to wade my way through several hundred people in the main convention hall. Eventually I find a safe space, a humble bench near the water fountains. Yeah, like actual PAX East, those benches along the outside when you're not on the floor anymore. Or even like a spot behind some of the show booths where you're like by the bathrooms. Even that can be enough, but like again, find your AFK room. Find a safe room if they have one. In case it gets to be too much, you need to step aside, go somewhere quiet, and just decompress. Because you, especially first invention, you honestly might have to. Make this my home base while I wait for my friends. Since both Teo and Ashley are running late, I have some time to fully take in my surroundings in a calmer fashion, of course. Everywhere I look, everything I see, all steeped in arcade culture. Booths are set up for all the major arcade companies, each table vying for the attention of the crowd. Some have spaces set up with stages, flashing lights, and people throwing t-shirts into lines of people. We actually saw the last time Rooster Teeth did that. I think that was our first convention, was the last time Rooster Teeth, like, made a giant presence to be a PAX and had a huge booth. They had their own stage. They actually had battle slots set up on computers as it was launching within like 6 weeks, so we found out. It also had a thing where it was crashing every few games. Like full like two desktop crash. I think they were giving away like Verve streaming devices and codes for the Verve software, like, or Verve streaming service, like the whole thing. I think that was the first time they were selling their like Boston community shirt that year, and then since then they don't go to PAX anymore at all. Maybe South, but they really don't go to PAX anymore. It was like the next year, I think the next year is when they started only having a panel and then just going home. To the point where at least the third year, I don't know what they did last year. The third year, we had our big community meetup. Oh yeah, they had started their own, and it makes sense. But that same year was their last year doing it. We had also just started a big community meetup, like dinner. You know, there's a hall that we'd run out. And we would just, you know, we'd get like a little pizza and snack buffet, like provided by the venue. RT New York took care of all this. And like Rooster Teeth, the first couple years, Rooster Teeth personalities were still there, so they'd just come and hang out. You know, Jack, Jeremy, the other one, Craig and Sean from... I think actually the first year was Craig, Sean, and Chad from Game Attack. Obviously, this is back when Craig was part of Game Attack. And like by the third year, the only RT personality that was around to actually hang out was Chef Mike from McDonald's. It was the only one. What can you do? No one was in town still. I think Jeremy might have still been in town, but he was visiting family before he left, and obviously now he's staying in New England. So, anyway, stages, flashing lights, people throwing T-shirts. We're at max, so I'm having PAX flashbacks. That's the thing that's going to slow us down today. Is just me talking about PAX East. Can we talk about these lines for a second, though? There are lines for everything. Lines to play games, line to go see a panel, lines to eat disgusting convention food, lines for the bathroom. Okay, admittedly, I have had convention food. It was actually really good. It's like a Polish sausage. Really good Polish sausage. But also overpriced. I would suggest, if your convention will allow it, if your convention will allow it, bring food. Bring your own food that's going to be cheaper, that you can keep in your bag. Some jerky, some trail mix, something, and have a water on you. Okay, convention tips. Make sure you have the stuff on you. Make sure you've got your medication. No joke. It's a lot of people. It gets warm even in like September, or even in I'll get there, John. Don't worry. Even for February, March, maybe early April, it gets warm with that many people in the space and all those electronics running. Bring deodorant. It's pretty on par with like ballpark food, honestly. Maybe a little more, but it's pretty on par with ballpark food. Also, John, just think about someone from Rooster Teeth Achievement Hunter that we don't talk about anymore, and that was the other one. I have to see if I've actually deleted that picture or not. Or just, like, if I can, crop that person out. I mean, I did already have to crop a picture up, because I found Jack on the floor in 2019, had someone take a picture of, him, myself, and Joe. I realized after my fly was completely down, it's like, we're just gonna crop that to the waist. Lines to get into other lines. Y'all just wait there, standing, happily chittering amongst themselves. Yeah, this is really... If you're not on the floor, lines are the con experience until you get to the thing you're trying to get to. Even on the con floor, if you're just trying to get into, like, play games. I have trouble waiting in line for 10 minutes of the whole story, let alone waiting in line for 3 hours just to play a game that'll be released in 4 months. No, I would have said Ray. Actually, don't think I've never seen Ray in a con. But I also don't think Ray would have flown all the way to Boston for a con. Not like New York, maybe, to see family. Boston, I feel like, might be a bigger stretch, but... Yeah, that year, it was... it was him, Jack, and Jeremy had all come as the Achievement Hunter. You see, I think Jeff had also come that year, but he... That night, I think he caught a Celtics game, and then he caught a flight home, because that was the... We're just here for a panel year. These people aren't even human anymore. Their perseverance is godlike. The sensory output here is overwhelming. People are shouting and laughing as they crowd areas. Music pumps out of several different booths, making it a weird mashup of notes and chiptunes. One other thing about the RT kind of stuff, because the year that guy was here was also the year Greg Miller was here. Yeah, Ray's from New York originally. But at least Greg Miller was also there, and he actually came to our meetup that year. The Rooster Teeth community meetup. I didn't know how tall Greg Miller is. I'm like 6'1", and he's taller than I am. I was genuinely surprised. I didn't realize... I had no idea Greg Miller was that tall. We were like 6'3". There's definitely this moment of like, oh, shit. Okay. It's hard to judge scale, especially on if you just see someone in an internet video, of how tall or not someone is, unless they're, next to something really obvious, or in comparison with other people. I was even a Ginosaur. Wow, I can talk. Even a giant dinosaur that people can take selfies with. Again, I don't understand why I've decided that the thing I should do is try to read and talk at the same time. I have put myself in this spot, and I've questioned it repeatedly. Not that I don't enjoy it, just like, man, I'm bad at reading things out loud. Anyways, I contemplate how I'm going to attract all these people to G1 Game Day. I hear sounds of very loud and very upbeat music from behind me. Yeah, exactly. Joe nailed on the head, though. Like, man, we used to care so much about these people, and now we just don't. Now it's just not something we watch anymore at all. You know, I basically see, you know, there are still a few personalities to follow. I haven't done a Twitter purge yet. Yeah. It's so hard to tell. Like, alright. Camera's working a little too well. Yeah, it's hard to tell how big or small people are unless you're actually standing next to them. But I never get a picture with... Oh, must not have... Oh, that was 2019. I'm looking at the wrong folder. I was seeing if I could find the, if I'd ever taken a photo with Greg Miller. I can't remember if I did or not. Oh, actually, now I think about it, the pictures with him are awful. No, I never took a picture with Greg Miller. I took one with Craig. We can delete that. But I just remember it was like, oh, he is taller than I thought he'd be. Goodness. Yeah, it's, I can even see the pictures. Like 2017 was when they actually had a stage, and that's actually one of the pictures of their stage sits behind. Well, it sits behind this, but sits on the same unit as all my pins, and I kind of want to change that picture out. Oh, you know what? 2018, it was just that guy and Jack. I forgot how terrible this picture is. Or specifically, like, Jack looks terrible because it's a flash, so it just... No, I still have that BB King picture. I still have the BB King picture. I used to have his autograph on something, but I think that's just been lost to moves. But I also think it was just like a scrap of paper. It might have been a ticket, maybe, but not even like a regular ticket. I think it was just like a piece of paper. I don't think it was anything like worth it. You know, BB King's autograph was on printer paper. There's no way to prove it except for this one photo. Anyway, there are sounds of very loud and very upbeat music from behind me. I didn't expect to get this sidetracked playing this particular chapter, but here we are. I feel the bumping of the bass reverberate through my shoes, and I turn around. Dan. Theo sets down a colossal boombox at his feet. I recognize the music now. It's from Showtime stage, and Theo is bumping his signature song. I motion for him to turn down the music. He complies. Last thing I need to do is lose my voice from shouting before I even get the chance to talk to anybody. Hey. Sorry I'm late. I had some last minute dance moves I had to incorporate into the routine. I will say, you know, again, BB King was a sweetheart. BB King was such a nice dude. You know, and I know part of it wasn't just we were picked randomly from the audience or from the line because you know, they thought we were also nice and we got to chill for a bit. It was because my mom was media. Let's be honest. It was because my mom was media that we got to also sit and we got a picture, you know, because we were part of the autograph line, which I don't remember if I knew we were going to do or not. Sorry. I'm a fool, and I always pick sparkling water because it's tasty. So yeah, we got to sit for a bit. He apologized to us in advance because he was It's like right after the concert, so you having carrot sticks. It's like you're a senior citizen with diabetes. You're inviting us onto your bus, and also you're BB King. You're good. we're not gonna stop you. We're okay with that. You're not gonna offer us any. We're fine. You're good. But thank you for the thank you for the politeness. Thank you for the courtesy. That's what I'm looking for. I think Jack and I were pretty similar in height, but again, I'd have to edit the picture. I just don't have an edited version of handy. Plus, I'd have to use. We're pretty similar. We're pretty close in height, and he like. Yeah, we're basically right at the same height, but he's also leaning in slightly. I'm not going to take the brightest picture because the flash is making him like squint a bit, and he just looks bad. It's a bad picture. I forgot. I still have. I guess it was someone's birthday during the event in 2019. So Chef Mike led the room in singing "Happy Birthday" to him. Oh, here's one. This one I had to crop. This one I have to crop. Still one I have to crop because again my fly is 100% down. But now I'm basically the same height as Jack. Okay. No worries. I just got here myself. Despite Max's many attempts to trample me, I've survived thus far. I could have sworn I had a edited version of that photo. Maybe it's just the one I posted to social media. But I'm also not going to look through 3 years of social media trying to find a cropped version. Yeah, it looks like you were significantly non-trampled. Nicely done. Yeah, I have not shaved my beard in, like, full beard. Probably 7-8 years. 7-8 might be a little much. 6? I'd say 6 because... No, it might be closer to 7 now, because near the end of my time at McDonald's, they finally allowed us to actually have facial hair. So I was keeping a short goatee. I would trim that down, shave the rest, and it was just like sideburns and goatee. So like this was gone, and everything under was gone. And then at one point, and the worst part was like I had just gotten a new shaving brush and shaving soap in a little mug I could actually hold on to. And shortly after that, I was like, I wonder what happens if I just let it go, and just went full beard. And it's like, it's a little patchy here. Like I'm not gonna say I have a great beard. It's a little patchy, especially here. But now it's like, no, it actually, like now growing it out, it actually does kind of fill in nicely. So it's for a little while I was keeping the beard, maturing all that down. Then I was like, I just want to go. I just want it to go, see what happens, see how it looks, and now, now the look before you of the longer beard. And yeah, I'm with Joe. Like conventions, when we can get there again, are going to be super exciting. There's a part of me, when we get to the West Coast, I want to do PAX West because that was always, or no, it's PAX West now, because PAX Prime was a dream when I was a kid. Of like when they started, a younger person, when they started doing PAX Prime, when they started back when it was even just called PAX. It's like, because I was a big Penny Arcade fan then. This will read it now, but I was a big Penny Arcade fan then. So hearing it, like, not only having this big convention, it's a big video game convention. And it's on the other side of the country. I was like, this sounds amazing, but I don't know if I can ever go, because, again, making $7.50 an hour, the thought of having enough to save, let alone actually saving it, making it, getting a flight across the country, getting a flight across the country, getting a hotel, and getting into a convention sounded impossible. Um, yeah, um, so like if we end up on the West Coast, I'm absolutely gonna want to go to PAX West, even though it won't quite be the same. It'll still be like bucket list for me to actually go to PAX. You know, that'll, you know, PAX East is fantastic. I love PAX East, but like actually going to PAX West will be like that dream realized, kind of. That I actually got to go to PAX West. But Teo says, looks like we're significantly non-trampled. Nicely done. Don't congratulate me yet. We still have the rest of the day to endure. What's with the boombox, by the way? Oh, this is for the Showtime stage gathering. There are going to be a couple hundred of us from all over the world. I didn't realize there are Showtime stage communities in other countries.
Absolutely.
Actually, the second biggest community. The largest is in Japan. Several players flew all the way from Tokyo just to be part of our Showtime stage flash mob. There's so many people here. An impromptu giant dancing crowd sounds like it could get a little complicated. An epic battle of crowds. There can be bumping, fist pumping. Who knows what will happen with the music start? Unsafe in any BPM. Flash mob here, really? Doesn't that sound dangerous?
Sheesh.
You are thinking too much on it. It's gonna be fine. This isn't my first flash mob, you know. It's not? No, and it's all gone off without a hitch. No deaths, even. I've been planning this for months to stake in coordination from all the leaders of all the Showtime groups. Someday when I go through and do Teo's thing, I'll probably do the, I want to do it. I want to be in the Showtime. There's a lot of work from all sides to make this come together. Now all that's left to do is actually do it. In fact, Anne, you should come watch it. I was about to respond when a very elegantly dressed gentleman caught my eye. He wore a black proper tailcoat with an ornate sigil pinned to his breast. Accompanying his suit, he had fashioned himself with white regal gloves. With a cloth draped over his arm, he held tightly onto an antique tea kettle. As he approached, the crowd parted like waves from Moses. There were oohs and ahs from onlookers, and people pulled out their phones to get a quick picture of him. Also, totally forgot to turn the fan on in here. It is getting warm. Oh, dang it, wrong one. Motion, please. Motion, please. Thank you. Yelling at my fan. I hate... One thing I hate about Nightbot is that I mean, those are all great things to click on, but man, don't need them all at once. You know, I set the timers, but for some reason some of them kick on all at the same time. Or all within minutes, anyway. Like the rest of the crowd, I was taken back at how immaculate this butler was. Absolute perfection. I felt like I had time warped back to the 1800s and about to have tea with royalty. He stepped up to me and Teo and gave us a slight bow. Normally this would be ridiculously out of place, but not an arcade convention. He's a character from a hot fighting game called Melee Maidens. It's all about ninja maids and battle butlers duking it out for the right to serve a fancy party, or something. Oh my, I think I'm in love. Tea Earl Grey hot. I can't talk, I'm telling you. Nothing's familiar about this butler. My love of butlers was unbeknownst to me until this very moment. In retrospect, that's probably a good thing. Otherwise, maybe I would have ended up owning a butler cafe. Now I think about it, isn't that bad of an idea? I digress. The point of being that this butler has stolen my heart and served it up on a silver platter. Hello, butler friend. Will you marry me? Please? Man, it's me. Huh? How does this mystery butler know my name? Do I have a stalker who's also a butler? What if we work together? Uh-huh. Did Francine hire someone and not tell me about it? How long have Gavin, Naomi, and... Wait, Ashley? Ah, it took you long enough. Jeez. If you... Oh, then there goes the tea. Please look on your face. Ha! Priceless. You've never seen Ashley's crossplay before? Possibly? Alright, probably not. What's crossplay? When you cosplay as another gender. Oh, okay, Ashley, seriously, you look completely different. I didn't even recognize you. Oh, I'm sorry to let you there, the tea's back. I'm sorry I let you think otherwise for a minute, but it was all in good fun. No worries, it's pretty impressive work. No, it's not impressive at all. I mean, you could have done a much better job of sewing the coattails, and need to be like 5 inches taller, and I didn't go to the gym enough for this. I can't change any of that now, and honestly, it looks fine. Regardless, the cosplay parade's starting soon. I need to get over there. You should come with me. Hey, now, Dan was going with me to the Showtime stage gathering. Whatever Dan wants to do, it's his choice. That's fair. Either way, it'd be a good opportunity to promote G1 Game Day to one crowd or another. So, would you like to come with me to the cosplay parade? Or join me in the flash mob? Between the two, I know which one I would actually do, and it's the one we're going to do. But first I'm going to go to the bathroom, because water's going through me pretty quick, so I'll be right back. Alright, so we're gonna go with Ashley's the cosplay parade, by the way, I'm back. Huzzah! This way! Mateo. Ashley led the way as we weaved between the people and the crowd. I mean, it makes sense. You know, we basically had a big Gavin or Naomi chapter, so now we have to have a Ashley and Teo chapters. We're probably going to have Percy and Queen Bee for the next one, I'd wager. Chances to make friends with certain people. We traveled through the largest exhibit hall to get to the cosplayer gathering. Ashley mentioned it was in the Pac-Man Theater, which is not quite how they name theaters at PAX, at least not East, but it's fine. Which meant risking our lives throughout the most densely packed hall of the entire con. I thought the main hall was bad, but this is 1,000 times worse. At one point, they announced that the show floor had just opened up and a huge rush of people came straight for us. Getting flashbacks to the one time I worked shoe shop retail over the holidays. Or the horror. I will say, Real Me never really had a giant crush of people, even on Black Friday. But I was also like specialty enough that it was busy for sure, but it was never just like a huge wave of people waiting to get in. The Gamer Stampede came straight towards us, wild eyes and groping hands. I thought for sure I was going to be trampled to death. But at the last second, Ashley pulled me to safety. You gotta be more careful, Dan. You can name it with RE or ER. I have a pin. No, they RE. The way they're named in PAX. If I had the book near me, I could grab the book to see all of them, but they're over there somewhere. At least PAX East, they're all like animals, and it depends on like where they are. So like the first floor, they're all like aquatic animals with A, B, C, D. So you know, like Cuttlefish Theater, Dolphin Theater, Barracuda Theater. On the second floor, they'd all be like land animals, so Bobcat Theater, Caterpillar Theater, what have you. And then the top, third floor, they're all flying animals, so Dragonfly Theater. You get the point. They're all named, but it's by animal, and then each floor is a different like strata of land essentially. It's a clever way to do it, honestly, because then you can think, well, if this is Dragonfly, well, that's going to be Theater D, and it's going to be on the top floor because it's a flying animal or insects, whatever. It might not be Barracuda. I'd have to look. I don't even know if they'd have a map still. Since this year's PAX is all online. Yeah, they don't even have a map. Because it's already set up for online PAX West. Yes, I think actually technically PAX East would have been happening this week, last week, something like that. And I think their initial dates were like end of June, or I think it would have been like this weekend or next weekend. In the hope that we would have the pandemic under control, and that just not happened. At this point, we're crossing our fingers as something like MagFest 2022, I think, is still technically a go, and so is PAX Unplugged, but it'll largely depend on how we're looking into the winter. Anyway. Ashley says, you gotta be more careful, Dan. Don't let go, okay? Asher gets a hold of my hand, and I squeeze tightly. He leads the way, always looking forward, but never letting go. Eventually, after several more attempts on my life through various death by copious amounts of people, we make our way to the Pac-Man Theater. But I don't think I've ever seen a giant crush of people that's not organized at a con. At least actual PAX is pretty well gridded. Lines are well organized. They have plenty of enforcers to make sure that lines are well organized. Even like line rooms, they'll have tape saying like, "This is how the line goes." We did have someone like try to cut in, and it was like, no, you see. All of these people who have been here for the last half an hour, 40 minutes, we are all waiting. Your spot is there. The exhibit hall is pretty gnarly, but I've never seen like a giant crush of people. And we usually go on Saturdays, so we go on the busy day. But I've never seen someone announce like, "Hey, hey, we're doing the next esports, thing in 10 minutes," and then 100 people suddenly start running towards that area of the stage. But the theater was, the closest I could say might be when the main hall lets out, but the main hall is like, that's the fourth floor. That's separated out from everything else. So it disperses pretty well. The theater was huge, capable of packing in several hundred people. So yeah, this is the main stage. Most of those seats were already taken too, and people were milling around the auditorium aisles. My floor attendant sensors detected this as a fire hazard. But anyway, a huge stage had been set up in front of us where normally there'd be a table for the speakers, like a panel discussion forum, which is usually what the main stage is used for. Right? I mean, I dare say MagFest almost stopped at one point because the event runners were really scummy, and people started, and like, many people and companies started to actually boycott them until they finally kicked out the scummy people and started over. And then they didn't have MagFest. I've never actually been. I haven't been to a MagFest. It's the one everyone wants me to go to, because that's the con for Old Screw Attack, so it's a con for most of us here. Anyway, since the theater is so large, they place projector screens on either side of the stage, so whatever is happening can be seen by those sitting in the back row. Which is also true. It's safe to assume that this is one of the auditoriums saved for the most popular panels, and now the cosplay parade? Ashley, what's a cosplay parade? I'm so glad you asked, Dan.
Let's see.
It's where all the cosplayers get together, line up, and show off their latest creations for the masses on the theater stage up front there. Now that I think about it, kind of self-explanatory, right? Sometimes they even give prizes to the best cosplayers, but this one's pretty chill. No prizes, not even a shiny plastic cup to heft over your head? Haha, maybe one day. Today we're here to appreciate each other's talents and have fun. Before I can interject again, Ashley runs over to a person dressed as a maid. Looks very uniform to Ashley's butler cosplay. Maybe they're from the same game.
Oh my gosh!
I absolutely adore your Mia from Melee Maidens. Totally cute, and your sword, incredible. Oh, thank you. I made it from craft foam and Warpla. It only took it like 30 hours to do. So professional looking, dang. I can't get over how dapper your Angus is. The details you put into his pocket watch are phenomenal. I actually found the watch at a thrift shop and then just molded the extra embellishments on with clay. This went on for some time. I felt it would be rude to interrupt Ashley when she's obviously having so much fun being a part of her community. When we continued to chat about making costumes, I noted that more and more cosplayers were filing into the theater. For once in my life, I actually felt uncomfortable wearing my usual comfy as heck hoodie. I felt underdressed compared to all the Melee Maidens cosplayers. Seriously, was this a costume ball or a black tie gala? Not even mentioning the congregation of feathers, capes, prop weapons, wings, and someone in a giant Moopy costume made out of square foam pixels. Percy would have been delighted to see that. Babe, should that be my cosplay when you do Percy? I'll just be a giant Mr. Moopy next to you. For all the visual chaos, the vibe remained pretty chill and friendly. Just folks sharing a common joy and dressing up as someone else. I think you'd basically have to leave me around if I was actually in Mr. Moopy, unless I did the thing like, I've seen someone do, what are the enemies? The Space Pirates from Metroid, where it's just, like, one side of them has sides so they can stand sideways and they just are the character. I think that's what I'd have to do in order to be Mr. Moopy. It was like, we'd have to make just, like, a big cardboard, like, side standee, and then when people want a picture, they have Percy, and then I can just be there as Moopy next to you. I bump into everything, though. But eventually, Ashley parted from her conversation to check on me. Sorry, Dan. Sometimes I get so swept up in it all. No, I get it. Back in the Funplex, you mentioned that you can only see some of your friends here at these cosplay events. Oh yeah, cosplayers travel all over. More than other gaming communities, I bet. You know everybody here? Oh no, I mean, I know a good amount of people here, but everyone? Nah. Sure seems like you do. I've seen at least 30 people come up and compliment your butler. Hey, nice Angus, love the tailcoat. Said cosplayer with a sweet hat. There, see what I mean? You're mega popular. Thinking you spin that into some kind of cosplay event at G1 Game Day? Hey, great idea. We can have a real cosplay contest. I'm gonna win. Oh, what's this? Competitive Ashley? You're taking notes from Queen Bee, haven't you? What? Don't tell me you saw us practicing in the bathroom the other day. I didn't? Why would I be looking in the bathroom? Now I can't get that image out of my mind. We ladies gotta stick together. Ladies helping ladies. Our chuckles were interrupted by one of the Max attendants. You're participating in the cosplay parade. I need you to gather in the backstage green room. I repeat, all cosplayers proceed to the green room. You'd compliment her butler, too. Like a slow herd of brightly colored sheep, Ashley and I moved into the next room to join the rest of the cosplayers. When we got to the front of the line, the attendant stopped me dead in my tracks. Cosplayers only, no handlers unless you're visibly holding up something. Handlers? Oh. Hey, Dan? Ashley tells her head as if to signal me to step aside. See you, sis. We'll be right back. Want to be part of the parade, you have to be back here in the next 20 minutes. Step out of line and stand next to Ashley, who's digging through her bag. I was hoping it wasn't going to come to this, but I feel like this is her only option. Ashley pulls out a surprisingly fancy and elegant maid outfit. And then hands it to me. I need you to wear this. Wait, you just happen to have this? This is all too convenient that Ashley has a maid cosplay just tucked away, roughly in my size. Prepare for just something just like this. I'm on to you. What do you mean? First of all, why exactly do I need to wear this? Secondly, you planned for this, didn't you? And lastly, you just want to see me in a maid outfit. One, you need to wear this again on stage as part of the cosplay parade. Well, the spotlight would help you spread word about you on game day, right? We're better than the biggest auditorium at Max. Two, I did plan for this. Sometimes handlers aren't allowed on stage with the cosplayers and need to get you... on there. Three, yeah, duh.
Nope.
But I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do. You don't want to take a spotlight with me? Don't worry, I'll still help promote the event. Totally up to you, okay? And no hard feelings either way. Well... It would be a terrific opportunity for me to promote my event. A bit of a personal embarrassment, the price I pay, or should I just leave that to her? We have to see the silliness. I can't say I'm totally thrilled, but... Well, why not? I'm willing to do it to help get the word out. Count me in. Great! Trust me, this will be tons of fun. We made our way to the nearest bathrooms, and I changed into the maid outfit. I struggled to figure out all the claps and what velcros to what, but Ashley took the time to help me get situated. It also means Ashley saw us in her underwear, so double kudos for her. Once we were done, we headed backstage, which I'd say resembled the Funplex break room, but hey, same purpose, same function. And that is literally the Funplex break room, just reversed, and with a couple different posters and the soda machines the other way. Here, the cosplayers lie in wait for the big show to start, including one particular butler and a newly minted maid. Squee! You look so cute! I should like half as cute as you doing this. And seriously, you're gonna have to do this with me more often. You make a perfect Alice. Alice? Right, I forgot you knowing nothing about Melee Maidens. Alice is a head maid for the Neko Manor. Okay. So Angus, that's me, and Alice, that's you, are siblings fighting alongside each other to prevent other maids and butlers from taking over their estate. They fight for Lady Nice. Or Nice.
Oh my!
I almost forgot. Ashley pulls out more costume stuff from her pack. This time it's a set of cat ears and a tail. Alice is a cat girl. Of course, Alice is a cat girl. What? But you don't have cat ears? I thought we were siblings. Shh, spoilers! You don't find out that they're siblings until after you beat Angus' story arc. You just said we're fine. When the game starts, Angus has amnesia, and after you win, Alice appears and tells you everything. Angus's power is unleashed and becomes his old catboy self. Also unlocks an extra skin you can play with, but now we've gotten very far off track. Satisfied? Any more questions? No, I think that covers it. Also, I think I want to play Melee Maidens. I want to play a tournament fighter where everybody's dressed as a fancy maid or butler. I mean, we had rival schools, why not, right? Ashley fashions the cattail in the back of the maid dress and places a headband on my head. With the costume finalized, I take a long, hard look in the mirror. And there we are. Catboy us, and I love that the bow is also your color. Also, like, it has a big poofy, like, Chun-Li shoulders. Also, that gummy bear is a little too big to swallow. So, that was fun for a moment. She doesn't even play Tournament Fighters. She wants to play Melee Maidens. And okay, it's not half bad. It's definitely not me, but I can live with this. Oh good, Katie and Steph are here. Who? They're a couple of my good cosplay friends, and they're way more talented than me, even. And they just happen to be the MCs for the cosplay parade. Ashley waves over to them and smile, waving back. I talked with them earlier, and after the parade they'll let us come up on stage and talk about G1 Game Day. Whoa, really? Really? Thank you so much, Ashley. That'll help a ton. Yeah, it helps to know people sometimes. We found a few other cosplayers who dressed up as other Melee Maidens characters, and we all formed up into a group. Even though we were together, Ashley and I kept to ourselves to save for pleasantries. As we chatted away, the MAX attendant came back to give us a final warning before we went on stage. Everybody listen up. We got 10 minutes before the parade. Make sure you're all ready to go. Although that means that we, got changed... No, I guess it's 10 minutes until the show. So... Maybe this is also the limit for when people could get in. I think I'm experiencing performance anxiety. My heart rate's increased. I feel flushed. The pressure to look perfect is too much. Ashley, do I look okay? My ears on straight? What about the tail? You look fine, trust me.
Amazing!
You're the best Catgirl maid I've ever seen. I bet you say that to all your cosplay friends. I don't. Honest. Well, I think that you're... What'd you call it? Crossplay? It's fantastic. Why'd you choose to crossplay as Angus anyway? I would have expected you to be one of the other fancy maids. You would have made a cute maid too. Dan, do you have a maid fetish? No. Maybe.
I crossplay because that's what makes me feel most comfortable. At first, I dressed as various boys because I adored those characters so much, you know? But the more I did it, the more I had fun with it. The more I began to feel like me. And then I wanted to do it more and more. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that means in relation to who I am, and that's the confusing part. But I guess that's all part of the journey about finding out more about myself. I know it's hard to understand, but just know that I'm working on being happy with myself.
That is super important.
And one day, I'll be able to put words into what I'm feeling. But until then, I'll enjoy the ride.
I see. I hope I didn't pressure you into oversharing just now.
I wouldn't have shared it if I didn't feel comfortable with you. I mean this with all my heart. You are a cherished friend.
Oh gosh, thanks Ashley. I really appreciate the trust you put in me. I won't let you down. Cosplayers, the time is nigh. Once again, the attendant started barking orders at us. We all shuffled into another line like how we were told to do earlier, and slowly we all began filing out of the room. The closer we got to the stage doors, the more I felt the nerves creep in. It literally me every time I need to go on a stage. Until I got to, the end of a show, maybe. And I was like, well, I've done this. You know, we've done this a dozen times in rehearsal, and we've done this 5 times in front of other people. What's one more time? Now we're next. Melee Maidens group, go. Now. Maybe, Sean, we'll find out. We gotta let her figure it out, and we'll use her as long as she's telling us to use her. Ashley looks over at me, just beaming. This is her life, her everything. Take a deep breath, Dan. Close my eyes, taking in as much air as I can. Hold in for a long moment before exhaling. Open my eyes slowly and take a step into the Pac-Man Theater and onto the stage. I'm following Ashley, who is following the rest of the Maid and Butler crew. Once all of us are on stage, the MC announces us as the Melee Maidens group. The MC's announced, yeah. As I look out in front of us, I can see a completely packed theater. Hard to make out specific faces due to the stage lights, but I can see the outline of hundreds of people. A rush of adrenaline surges through my body, and I look over to Ashley. A proper butler, she takes each step with purpose and elegance. She isn't breaking character for anything. Not all the cheers in the audience, not all the people smiling and laughing around her. She's Angus, and she's owning it. The announcers ask us to strike a pose on 3, 2, 1. I lean over, hand on my hip, while giving a coy expression and a wink to the audience. We finish holding our poses long enough for everyone in the audience to get a good amount of pictures of us. And once a sufficient amount of snaps has been snapped, an MC instructs us to stay on the stage, passing Ashley a microphone for the big G1 Game Day announcement.
Thank you.
Everyone. It means so much to us that you can join my sister Alice and I here at Neko Manor. As you know, we adore organizing exorbitant galas at Lady Nyice's estate. However, Alice and I are planning a very extravagant event at a very extravagant location. I'm pretty sure I screwed up extravagant the first time there. Come on, Alice. Tell them everything. Ashley hands the mic to me. Watching her never break characters inspired me to play along too. That's right, Angus. Next weekend we'll be hosting a costume contest at Francine's Arcade Funplex at the Twin Pines Mall. It's all part of G1 Game Day, along with a Fist of Discomfort tournament, a world record attempt on Moopy's Magical Maze, and the reveal of a rare and mysterious game. Oh my, first time the public will have seen it? You know it, brother. This isn't the event to miss. It will be the most noteworthy event of the season. You gotta remember, this is a private affair, so please only tell your closest friends. Ashley winks to the audience before bowing. Another rush of cheers fills the theater as we walk off stage for a second time. The MCs give their closing words and dismiss the audience. People begin exiting the auditorium. I feel my phone vibrate in my hidden dress pocket. First it was just a couple vibrations, but before I realized what was happening, my phone started seizing. What the... I pulled my phone from my pocket and saw that the Funplex's face wall had over 1,000 shiny new likes. No. Really, what? The hell?
Hey, listen.
The Cosplay Parade is a huge part of every Max and generates thousands of photos and articles online. Also, it was being live-streamed. Ashley, you failed to mention that part. Well, you seem so nervous. I didn't want to make it worse.
Good work.
Yeah, that actually poll just now generated a 700% increase of traffic on our site. I also gobbled up some paid keywords, so if anyone posts about cosplay at Max, they'll see an ad for G1 Game Day. Pretty genius, right? Thankfully, I say in my own face wall, and even people I knew who weren't arcaders were talking up a storm about it. I also could hear the cosplayers discussing as we waited for the auditorium to clear out. I can't wait till next weekend. That G1 Game thing sounds like a blast. Totally going to the Funplex place. Do I want to run next cosplay there? Dan, we did it! Had lots of help from you too, Ashley. Don't count yourself out. Make a pretty great team. It was great to hear all the buzz around the cosplay community, and Irish really helped with the social media aspect. I can't believe it was that easy. I mean, tiring, but easy. That was very fun and all, but I'm completely exhausted. Yeah, me too. Need a break from all this. Some time to collect my thoughts and rest my eyes from all those flashing lights. I'm still seeing spots. This is where you go to the AFK room and just chill for a while. You hear that Gavin and Naomi are running a pop-up arcade for the Funplex? A bunch of other local arcades are doing the same over in Hall B. Maybe we're stopping by there for a breather with some friends. And make sure they aren't slacking. You know what? Sounds like it's all a plan. You want to come with me? Not quite yet. I still need to do some touch-up on my makeup. How about I meet you there later? Yeah, great. See you soon. I wait bye to Ashley's and make my way towards the restrooms to get changed back to my usual clothes for the time being. That's off to Exhibit Hall B, on the lookout for Gavin's serious face or Naomi's kind one. Let's see, Exhibit Hall B. It very much resembles Exhibit Hall A, which is where I started my day. Industry types, dealers, swag, crowds. There's definitely more actual arcade games here, as local places have set up pop-up arcades all over the place. It's hard to notice the smaller displays of the giant garish Deco Palace set display eating up the center, but I managed to crawl my way around the edges to find... Oh, everybody's here. Well, now pretty much everyone else is everyone else in the crew, save for Francine. Teo and Ashley are still off hanging out with their respective communities. I've got some time, maybe I can bend someone's ear. Meanwhile, what is everybody else doing right now? Amy looks worried, Percy's idly playing Nibbler, Naomi's faking with Busted Gallica, and Gavin's reading the news. Yeah, we'll talk to Percy at least for now, and if it gives us more options, then we'll pick someone else. Maybe Queen Bee or Gavin, because we haven't really touched base with them at all. Like, at all. Percy's poking his way around the mazes of Nibbler, but without the gusto he normally reserves for Moopy. Hey, Percy.
Hello.
Hello there, Dan. Can I help you with something? Actually, right now I'm thinking of taking a break from being the GON Game Day hypes person. Sorry, I've been phlegmy today for some reason. Want to talk or something? I mean, if you're not busy. No doubt I'm anywhere close to 1 billion on Nibbler, so I may as well step away from a bit. Add a spot, and then maybe go play some other games. Certainly, let's depart. Two of us find a semi-quiet spot between two display booths to take a breather from all the digital hustle and bustle of the arcade scene. Anyway, Nibbler's so moopy, it laughs the depth of a good moopy run in my humble opinion. Seriously though, why Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze? Why not? Because there's easier high scores out there to knock out. I looked it up on Twin Galaxies last night. That score stood for 30 years. And that's a challenge, isn't it? But I suppose it's not entirely the challenge that appeals to me. It's... well, how do I put this? Personal. I mean, if you don't want to talk about it. No, it's fine. I don't mind telling you, Dan. I wouldn't tell a complete stranger, but we're hardly strangers, yeah?
Put simply, Moopy is... it was my little sister's favourite game. Dear little Stella. My sister was a child prodigy. A leap ahead of the curve in every respect. Sharpest mind. Cleverest wit. The warmest heart. Mm-hmm.
And mazes. Oh, how she loved mazes. She had a gift for pattern recognition and optimization. A gift and a passion. It thrilled her to no end to take on a mental challenge and defeat it soundly. She got her books and books filled with mazes and puzzles, and she'd clear one of them every day. I always wanted more to fill her dreary hours, but only so many mazes. To solve the problem, I got her handheld game console and a copy of Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Honestly, at the time, I knew next to nothing of video games. A friend of mine in arithmetic class suggested it. Took every scrap of pocket change I can muster, buying that game for her. My family had next to no money, you see. Nobody family in a nothing village. Well, I suppose you can relate, yeah? I can relate, yes. I mean, started out with money, I guess, but that didn't last long. Eventually, things like video games were just out of reach. My parents loved me and tried so hard, but well, the family curse kept getting in the way. Downsizing, pink slips, and bad luck again and again. And yet here you are, doing what you love despite it not quite alleviating all hardships. I'm busting my butt here at Max to turn things in an upward direction, though. Indeed, a fine ambition, I'd say. So, the game helped feed my sister's need for greater and greater challenges. The key to Mr. Moopy, you see, generates his pseudo-random mazes. Pseudo, as opposed to... well, it's early 1980X technology. Depending on your path through the mazes, you can precede the randomness. It's part of the challenge, playing the game of the game. And so it can play the game of the game like no other. Better than I could, even. She'd no doubt have beaten the high score by now, her name up in lights as the champion to unseat a 30-year legacy. And that's why I'm a maniac for Mr. Moopy. I wait for him to continue, but... nope, that's it. I think I understand, though. If you say the past tense when you're describing your sister. Sorry for your loss, Percy. I'm sure she was every bit as bright and clever and warm as you described. I wish I could have met her. Thank you. Her loss is... certainly left a hole in the world. When she passed a few years ago, all her potential, all her brilliance, gone. Percy sighs deeply, letting the memory wash over him. Pass.
If not for the heart condition, despite everything we tried, everything I did, in the end, it was simply too much. And now, Mr. Moopy's my connection to Stella. She dreamed of beating it, but the little handheld version she had wasn't quite the equal of the original. So, one day, I'm going to take down the score, and I'm going to do it in her name. I'll put her initials at the top of that scoreboard, S-I-S.
How convenient that her initials are also cis.
3.5 million
Yeah,
points
exactly.
by Percival James Sinclair, earned in honor of Stella Isabel Sinclair. I know that on that day, somewhere she'll be smiling at me and saying, "Good show, Percy. Good show."
We're gonna do everything we can to help you get there. Despite the sadness of the story, I can't help but smile at the ending. Well, on the day you beat the score 4, event manager Dan will be there to cheer you on. Thank you, love. It's appreciated. Two of us make our way back to the mini funplex, him to resume gaming and me to catch up with Teo and Ashley again. Nope, I guess we just get the one. Hi, Summer. Good to see you again. But my current status is sitting. And enjoying it. It took a few minutes of searching and stalking, but eventually I found an open seat in the pop-up arcade. While this is dissatisfying, the rest of everything else is miserable. My feet are sore from walking all over. I don't remember the last time I ate. I feel dehydrated and I have a slight headache from all the noise. Again, we're gonna look at this. Here are the problems, and I mean, feet exhaustion is gonna happen. Just make sure you get opportunities to sit and take a load off. And also wear your comfortable shoes, wear comfortable insoles. Bring food with you if they'll allow it, and bring water with you if they'll allow it. If the convention allows you to bring your own food and water, bring that with you. Figure out where the restaurants are, even if it's one where it's like, well, I have to go off-site, go get in line at a food truck or at a restaurant, and then come back. As long as the convention will allow it. Do that. Or... Or like I said, just bring food. Bring some jerky. Bring some trail mix. Bring some candy. Just bring, have something with you with caloric content. So you can replenish throughout the day. So you're not in this spot. No mules at conventions? Oh, shoes. We already moved on. I was already on food and water, so I was like, I mean, I'm sure there are, people will wear uncomfortable. Just make sure they fit well and they're comfortable and there's something you want to walk around in for however long the convention is. Like, don't wear your cramped wedding shoes that you hate to a convention. Unless it's part of a cosplay, and even if it's part of a cosplay, make sure they fit and fit well. If you're not, especially if you're not in costume, wear sneakers. Just wear sneakers that you like. First, wear the shoes that you're the most comfortable in being in for a long time. If you're gonna do a day after the convention, and maybe also bring medication, like if you need ibuprofen. And just make sure you have all that stuff with you. Like, they're gonna check it. They're gonna check your backpack, but as long as you don't have anything blatantly illegal, like, you don't have hard drugs, you don't have a weapon on you. And if you do have a cosplay weapon, make sure you go get it peace bonded. So it's made very clear that your weapon can't actually cause harm. It's not actually sharp, it doesn't fire real projectiles. What have you. Make sure you leave your pocket knife at home. Logical things, but like make sure to try to avoid these problems as best you can. You're still probably going to go back to your hotel and crash from sensory deprivation. Or, sensory overstimulation, I should say. But you can mitigate some of these problems, because we've still got 4 hours of max to go. If Gavin saw me in my current state. Leaning back, arms at my side, completely exhausted. I can picture it clearly. Looming over me with his dark, unfettered eyes. He would lean in close and frown. Grumbling, he'd say, "Man, may I remind you, these seats are for patrons only?" Well, I'm saying, like, they're not going to nail you if you have your prescription on you. If there's a prescription you need to take in the middle of the day while you're at PAX, they're not gonna take that away. But obvious drug, but also don't bring a baggie full of marijuana. Use your brain. I ought to be sighed just thinking about it. As luck would have it, though, Gavin and Naomi are huddled over the Galaga cabinet trying to figure out why the monitor's not working. Also, uh-oh. Freedom. My buns are experiencing the best freedom has to offer. And while my body feels like it could collapse at any moment, I feel good about it. Right? Getting the word out about G1 Game Day was great. Seeing people's faces light up with excitement is why I'm really here. Plus, spending time with Ashley is an added bonus. Yeah, like that. Like, Sean, you said you're asthmatic. If you use an inhaler, make sure you have your inhaler with you. They're not going to nail you for an inhaler. I certainly got passion to spare. Also, at least for PAX, also be aware that you're going to go through. They're going to check your bag. You're going to go through a metal detector. If you have a belt with a giant obnoxious belt buckle that will inevitably set off the detector, take it off. It's a metal detector, just so you can get inside quicker. Well, she certainly got passion to spare. I smiled to myself. The pain in my heels and the grumbling in my tummy. Worth it. While enjoying the respite, I let my eyes close for a moment, and of course, the second I do that, I hear footfalls closing in. There you are, Dan. Slammed just now? I'm looking all over for you. We were specifically going to meet up back here at the Funplex pop-up arcade? Yeah, but we didn't expect you to be tucked in the darkest corner of the arcade. I'll hide from Gavin. He'll put me to work if he sees me. Well, hiding behind the pinball machines is probably not the smartest choice, then. You know how much he loves pinball. Every spare moment he thinks no one is watching him is he spent getting that high score. I have so many candid pictures of him on my phone of playing pinball. You have to show me, like, right now. Yeah, his concentration face is so cute. Before I can even react, Ashley has her phone out and is scrolling through pictures of Gavin. Both look up at me guiltily. Don't we have more important matters? Max is over in a few hours. We'll still have a lot of work left to do. It's not, at least East. I can only talk to like one convention I've been to. It's not a buffet. It's more like a ballpark. It's more like there are snack bars kind of stocked, however, but they also will have food trucks outside the door, so you can step out and get something to eat. And you know, obviously, there's a whole city full of food if you want to go get it. You're right, Dan. Please don't tell Gavin. Secret is safe with me. Right, so business time. I think I got something. Go on. I got a friend, and she's an indie arcade developer. The new title she's been working on is amazing. It's got co-op, it's got competition, it's got magical schoolgirls. Now you're talking. Got it all. Wait, I'm pretty sure I've heard of this game. Is it called Magical Moon Cuties? Yeah, that's the one that she's thinking about premiering it at G1 Game Day.
Oh my gosh!
That'd be cooler than cool. Sounds interesting enough. Might make for another fun game for people to play. Definitely. My friend is somewhat renowned in the indie scene, and the game's been in development for years. I'm sure it would create some buzz at least. I'm kidding, Teo. We'd be the talk of the arcade world. I do like being the talk of world-sized things. Let's go check it out. I stand up, invigorated by the news. As I start walking back toward the hall with Teo, I hear a call from behind me. Wait! Turn around and see Ashley standing there, fidgeting. Her green eyes are darting back and forth nervously. Ashley? I do have a plan. She motions for us to come back towards her, which we do.
Huh?
Good idea, Ashley. Puts an arm around Teo and the other around me, huddling the three of us together. So what I'm proposing might not be the most legal course of action. I don't even want to know. You've seen the huge monitors hanging from the ceiling in the middle of all the major halls, right? How can I miss them? They're constantly bombarding us with ads and false hopes of high-quality convention food. No matter how amazingly tempting that $9 hot dog looks on the big screen, don't even think about it. Exactly my point. Everyone is looking at it. I know a way to sneak into the back area. All we have to do is break into the main communication center and upload the flyer Dan made into the rotation.
Whoa!
You want to do what? Shh, keep your voice down, Teo. Unless you want to get arrested for being an accomplice. Genius plan. Everyone at the Max will see our name in lights. Okay, so yeah, that's a less than legal way of getting the word out, but I have to admit you've got me intrigued. It definitely worked, but I don't know. Trust me.
What
course.
about...
We need to go in disguise. I'm already nicely disguised, but Dan would need to switch into something way more distracting. Why more distracting exactly? Distraction from your face, of course. I mean, it's a very good face. Why would anyone want to be distracted from it? I know I certainly wouldn't. What I'm trying to say is people remember the costume, not the person wearing it. Which means... made Dan right again. I knew it. Come on, you did so great on stage. Think of this as your encore. How about it? Not forget about Magical Bean Cuties as a valid alternative. Both options are valid, honestly. Splashing advertising would certainly drive foot traffic, even if getting it up there would be dodgy. Importantly, Iris could help us do it safely without anyone noticing. Safer than Ashley going off on her own to try this inadvisable stun. But a highly anticipated indie title might do the trick, and result in far less jail time. I can't check my score. Damn it. I'm going with the indie game. You know, I love Ashley, but I think having 2 major premieres is going to be a huge deal. Plus, Ashley, I'm currently top with, so not going to hurt me really in the long run if we're going to gamify this a bit. If I get a point into Teo. Ashley, you got this. You don't need any help from me. Honestly, I don't feel like getting carted off to jail today. It's not on my scheduled agenda. Plus, I'm pretty sure Ashley can handle breaking and entering all by herself. And yes, I realize how wrong that sounds even in my own head. I bet you've seen plenty of heist anime, so much that you can sneak into the Natural History Museum and steal the world's biggest Fabergé egg in the middle of the day. Yeah, spoilers, yes, I'm romancing Ashley this run. That was my plan when I did this for, Extra Life RT Main 2019. Yeah, 2018? Whatever year. My plan was Ashley. I'm curious about her run. I've seen Naomi's run. I'm pretty sure I've seen Joe do Percy's run before. I feel like I've seen Percy's run. So I wanted to do Ashley's. I haven't personally seen it, but I don't want to watch a lot of this. Also, I can get the bathroom again. So, we're back. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people, if they're going with the female run, I wouldn't be surprised if Naomi was picked a lot, because he's a quiet, nerdy one who loves video games. But, like, again, for the first time we saw this game was for Jared's run. You know, not that he doesn't have his own share of problems, but our first run we saw was for Jared's, and, like, ever since that scene with Ashley where she's struggling with her identity and you know, cross-playing to try to figure out her own stuff going on, I was like, I want to see the rest of this. But at the same time, I also wanted to save it for actually displaying it, and it's kind of the perfect time to display something like that. However, her story goes. And, yes, Gavin is romanceable. All 3 employees, Gavin, Naomi, and Ashley, and all 3 regulars, Percy, Queen Bee, and Teo, are all romanceable. Plus, we're not going to get to it here, but plus, there is a way to actually romance Juniper, your roommate, and there's a way to romance no one. They actually have a, like, I don't want any romance, or come out yourself as asexual, aromantic, or however you want to do it, and just don't pick someone. This is a perfectly valid option in the game. And unlike a lot of other dating sims, I'm thinking of the only other one I've played, I don't even want to say recently, but the other one I can think of that I've played, if you don't get anyone, the game kills you for it. And don't get me wrong, it's a good game. They basically pair you with your best friend, like in that game. This was Katawa Shouju, which I was curious about because it was like they could go really bad on this, but I'm curious to see how 4chan handles a dating game. It's actually very sweet and really well done. I will give the people who wrote that game full credit. Actually, did a really good job with it. But but yeah, if you don't find, not necessarily for being Ace Arrow, if you piss off all the girls that you don't get a date for the festival or whatever, and you don't have a romance option, because that is just a romance game. This has more to it than just romance. Literally, you end up with your best friends, you get drunk on a roof, and then you fall off the roof. But again, that's a game that, like, each one is its own hopper, essentially. You either get into, this is the line with a girl, the game ends when you end the line with the girl, or you get no girl and the game just ends. So, number one, this game doesn't end when you romance someone. There is more to this game than just romance. And again, because you can also, but also, if romance is not your thing for whatever reason, even if you just want to see the story of the arcade without worrying about the romance stuff, you can do that, and it's a perfectly valid route. You'll still get to the end of the game. You'll still have you might have like a best friend of the group, but you don't necessarily have, it's not necessarily romantic. And the fact that the game makes that perfectly valid is really nice. I like that there's that option. It's not just pure, we're gonna work in an arcade, but find love, because that's the premise of the game. No, there's more to it than that, and I appreciate it. It does also help that a dev is Ace. Said dev that's Ace is the one who pushed us over $1,000 also. Dewflower threw that last $100 in and made it so I have to play all the Hugo games. We'll go over that when we're done with this chapter. But back to Ashley talking about how good she is at breaking into things and telling us that she's got like 12 bobby pins holding that wig on. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Please try to be careful. Ashley smiles wildly before prancing off into a crowd with arcade folk. You can stop worrying, Dan. Ashley knows exactly what she's doing. I mean, that's why I'm worried. Fair enough. Oh, shall we go see a lady about an indie game? We shall. As we left the pop-up and traveled deep into the halls of Max, people kept stopping us to say hello to Teo. What's this drawing of me doing on the right? Why am I also here? We'd be happily on our merry little way and then get interrupted by a random person. Also, this whole thing where it's like, oh, we're just hanging out. No, look, someone's stopping us. This is what it's like to grow up when your mom works in local media. Because, I mean, you've all heard the story of, like, oh, mom ran into someone she knew, and, now she's got to talk for a bit with this person, so we're just all kind of hanging out and waiting for it to happen, and kids are getting bored and maybe wander off to go read magazines or whatever. This is all the time. People... This is all the time, because listeners recognize her all the time. But it's also, it's small town. Small town, and she was one of the two... She was part of, at the time, I don't know what ratings are like anymore, but at the time, like, the second most popular radio station in the market, but number one only behind, the one owned by Stephen King. Because, of course. But pretty consistently the top country, anyway. Top country station in the region. Yep, and I managed to hit RB as I was picking up the controller. Oh man, it's Teo. How you doing? Great, but hey, we're on our way to meet with someone. Oh, so we found a different dance game. Let's catch up later. Cool, later. And yeah, I mean, I kind of remember that from Sherlock Holmes, seeing the thing you're putting in there, but it's also like Sherlock Holmes' defining trait was, or one of his defining traits was like, these are the things I need, and these are the only things I pack in my brain, and everything else doesn't matter. So it's just crime stuff, yes. Literally anything else, no. I don't think he had time in his own mind for that kind of stuff. And this happened every couple minutes. Walking through the convention floor was like walking through a field of landmines. I need to trim my nails. Not having a time for that is a big mood. Fair. Not Ace, so I will take your word for it. I totally just clawed the hell out of my hand with my own hand. Instead of explosions, it was uncomfortable introductions to people I will probably never see again. Eventually, Teo leads me back to a section of arcade games hidden near all the major companies' booths, near where he held his dance flash mob. What they set up here is mostly reminiscent of the rest of Max. Arcade cabinets are closely lined up side by side, making several aisles for gamers to aimlessly wander down. I would have expected to be more used to pushing away through throngs of crowds by now, but nope. Teo and I force our way through huddled masses of chittering conversations. As I look around at all the different arcade games that surround us, I notice something's off. There are exactly 0 titles I actually recognize. Alright, so we're at the Indie Mega booth at this point. No Dig Dug, no Gauntlet, no Street Fighter, which I think we didn't see them there, unfortunately. I think Arcade Spirits when we went. I don't remember what PAX this was either. This might have been 2018? I think it was 2018 when we went. It was 2018 or 2019 when we went and saw it for the first time in person. Actually, we met Enna too. We got to chat with Enna for a bit. You know, not knowing at the time, not knowing like how much, you know, Price and Enna and Stumped would be a part of our viewing lives and all of that. We met Enna at their separate booth, and then we found out later, I think after we left, they also had a booth in the Indie Mega booth that we just didn't get to. Next time we can go to a PAX, we need to like fully explore Indie Mega booth. I think Indie Mega booth might be the most densely packed part of PAX, but it's also because everyone just has one little booth to show their game off. But we don't have Dig Dug, Gauntlet, Street Fighter, not even a hint of a pinball game. I was starting to get concerned. Teo, where in Max are we? This is the Indie Mega Arcade. See? It's because I know PAX and I know these things. Well, originally they called it the Indie Mega Arcade Expo, but then IMAX sued them. Alright, Sean, have a good day. The what? That didn't explain anything to me. What are all these weird games? I understand nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll hush those alluring lips of yours for a second, I'd be more than happy to explain. I like Teo being openly flirty. Yeah, exactly. Meaning Enna as just like an industry professional, and we were just fans having seen the game from a Let's Play, but being interested and getting like pins and bookmarks, and I think we bought a pin. I think you bought the Moopy shirt then, or did you buy? I think you bought the Arcade Spirit shirt then, because I didn't have my size in any shirts. And like I mentioned later, like I kind of regretted not buying another copy of the game and the soundtrack bundle that they had on sale. I think I already owned it at that point. That's why I didn't buy it. But it's like I should have bought the bundle while I was there, giving them one more sale, and then you would have had a copy on your Steam, or we could have set up a Steam for you and gotten you a copy. But I didn't buy the shirt then. I knew we at least bought one of the pins, one of the Heart and Space Invader pins. No, I bought the pin. I remember I bought the pin because it was like the Space Invader in a heart was just like, I can't leave without the Space Invader in a heart. And we did get some free swag. We each got a button. We got some bookmarks. And we also talked to Josh from Telegame as well. Like the two people manning the booth, at least manning that booth at that time, were Josh from Telegame and Enna. And it's just funny, like, oh, you bought the shirt from Enna Direct. Got it. I can't remember if you got one or the other while we were there or not, but PAX is past. They you know, it all becomes a mush. What did we do when? Okay, I'm hushing now. Totally and completely hushed. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the Indie Mega Arcade is a huge area of Max that showcases all the new and upcoming indie arcade games. I ran out of breath on that one. Indie developers get a chance to show off their stuff, get useful feedback, and maybe get a few people interested in their game along the way. That's the dream of the indie dev, to make a game that people enjoy playing. Okay, I really don't know about the indie arcade scene, admittedly. Bringing up the Funplex offers me a crash course in arcade culture. Every day I'm learning about completely new aspects. It does make perfect sense to have an indie game scene. I just never realized that it existed. It's pretty amazing, actually. A community of people who share ideas and a passion. Can't afford mass production runs of games, but they've got a lot of heart, you know? They can't crank out a box for every arcade on Earth, but indie developers are free to make whatever type of game they want. No pressure from a big-name company, either. Complete and utter creative freedom. Really, anyone can make a game if you put your mind to it. In fact, I bet even you, Dan, could make an arcade game. What say you? Oh, dang it. I did not want to do that. It lagged for a moment, so I hit A to try and get it to go again, and I accidentally picked up enter I didn't even see coming. Whoops. Yeah, it doesn't even show me. Oh well. That's fine. I've always been the idea guy. Ever since I was a kid, I've been dreaming up game ideas. Like a zombie-themed fighter or a train-driving racer. Got tons. How would a train racer work? I've got tons of them just waiting to be turned into a fully fledged game. Used to draw out intricate arcade game levels on paper, too. I guess it makes sense to go with the brash, bold option with Teo, but kind of not my intent. Or I don't even know what my intent was. I didn't see the thing. I know, but it's like, but they're all on tracks. How does one get? Who knows? I'm sure someone's figured it out. It's just like, but wait. Being surrounded by hardworking individuals at the Funplex only enrich that fantasy. I mean, I can't code or draw, but I can always dream up new ideas. I guess it'd just be giant slot cars, really. Train racing would just be big slot cars. Dang, you don't even know. I've got so many ideas swimming in my head for a game. Oh yeah? What would you make first? Well, you were a dumb kid. I would make... Definitely not the roguelike procedurally generated open-world twin-stick platformer with loot boxes. Make a romance game or design a super cute puzzle game. Probably a romance game, because I'm not great with puzzles. I don't know exactly how a romance arcade game would work, but I'm all about creating new genres. I was thinking some sort of game where you can date and romance people. Yes. Also takes place in an arcade, a game about arcade romance in an arcade. Yes. Really, the core of the game would take an in-depth look at all the different aspects of arcade communities and how they function and interact with each other. I feel like we're getting meta. Yeah, a bit slow for a coin-op arcade game, but also plenty of kissing and touching butts. Did Enna write this scene? Okay, now you're speaking my language, which is a language of love. Too easy. I like it.
All right.
Well, if you ever get super bored of being an arcade event manager, I can hook you up with all the proper people to launch your second career. What do you mean? Oh, I have some friends who make arcade games for a living. Some friends? As soon as I said it, I became overtly aware of the situation. Since we set foot into the Indie Mega Arcade, people have been waving and nodding to Teo, not to mention all those people stopping us on the way to get over here. I'd say more than some friends. You're a popular guy.
What? Come on, that's silly.
He waves his hand, waving off the very notion that I know to be true. Everyone knows who he is, and I had no idea. Teo's always been such a crowd pleaser at Showtime stage, but I guess his popularity spread to all facets of his life. Dance champion and indie arcade scene champion, huh?
I try to keep my friends' circles pretty separate. Sometimes it's not always perfect, and they tend to overlap. You know, like a Max.
Yeah, oh yeah, plenty of kissing and butt touching is a very Anna line.
But hey, it's got upsides. All my friends are here. The biggest downside of Max is just so hard to see everyone. I never get to spend enough time with them, you know?
Yeah.
I got friends here in the Indie Mega Arcade. I got my Funplex crew. I got the dancing community. I just can't see them all. And when I can't see them, I feel like I let them down. I hate having to choose between them. Once again, I've failed my friends. You know, it's a surprise anyone still talks to me anymore.
Teo sighs heavily. His mood shifted from excitement to utter solace. Pool collected Teo, showing a side to him not seen yet. I guess he's able to experience emotion other than joy. Weird way to look at him, but sure. Confirms, Teo is not a joy robot. This isn't right. Sad Teo is worse than Teo. As his friend, I must fix this. Can't please everyone. Allow me to boost your ego. You haven't left me down. Let's keep being silly. I know Teo's feeling pretty down about not being able to see all 100,000 of his friends. He has to realize how many friends he has and that they all support him no matter what. Teo, you know what I can't even fathom right now? Huh? No, what? I honestly had no idea how famous you are. Like, everybody gets together and erects a golden statue in your honor sort of famous. Kind of famous that accidentally starts cults. Good cults, though. Not the kind with sci-fi authors enthralling Hollywood celebs with tales of spaceships and volcanoes. I'm talking, like, happy, carefree dance cults. Dan, I'm not famous or anything like that. I'm just a normal guy who happens to have a lot of friends. Teo, that's the exact definition of popular. If you looked up popular in the dictionary, your picture would be right there. I've seen so many of your friends stop and say hello to you. Plus, they completely understood when you told them you were busy. Not one left without a smile on their face. They really care about you. You know what, Dan? You're right. The more I hang out with Teo, the more I learn about him. Learn something new and something unexpected. Let's bring this back around to why we're here. How'd you get involved in the indie arcade scene, anyway? You're Michelle, the indie developer I want you to meet. I met her a few years ago at a previous Max, hanging out with my crew near the dancing games, and she stopped by to play around. Since she was new to the scene, I struck up a conversation with her. Much like when I met you. Ah, so there's plenty of flirting then? I cannot help myself when surrounded by such beautiful, wonderful people. And Michelle makes indie arcade games? She's only one of the coolest and most prolific arcade developers in the industry today. She's worked on several big-name indie games, and when she's out working, she's speaking all over the world about arcade development. Well, color me impressed. Sounds like Michelle is the sort of influential person who could really help with G1 Game Day. Really is. And I'm what now, Mateo Alvarez? No, Michelle, only the worst person I've ever met. As to be expected from somebody of your caliber. Touche, I was just looking for you, by the way. Oh, I'm glad I found you then. What's on your mind? Want to introduce you to Dan. Nice to meet you. Hey, the pleasure's all mine. Take me a second, but Michelle totally looks like... Uh-oh. You aren't, perchance, also a federal agent? This is it. I'm doomed. There's a setup. I'm about to be renditioned to a CIA black site. Who, me? No way. I thought my sister, well... I can neither confirm nor deny what she does for a living. I see. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. I'm gonna shut up now and focus on arcade stuff. I think what Dan is trying to say is that you seem to have a very confident and authoritative expression. That's all. Yep, that's exactly what I meant. The audit on the nose. Thanks, Neo. Sure, okay, let's go with that. Anyway, I spoke with Teo earlier in the day, and he told me you had a business proposition. Consider me all ears. Allow me to elaborate. Dan here was recently appointed as the event manager for the Funplex. Rats, that's a cute little mom-and-pop place where Teo gets his groove on, right? I'd categorize it as more of a grandma and grandpa kind of arcade. It's not the fanciest one out there, but it's got heart. Also, it is literally run by a grandma. I like an arcade with a good heart. Reminds me of my youth. Good old days when you walk into your home away from home, quarter up and enjoy the company. I digress. Getting too swept up in memories. Tell me about it. Tell me more about the proposal. Ned's putting on a special event at the Funplex called G1 Game Day. It's a celebration of the arcade scene, if you will. Should I have pluralized it? Oh well. Oh, I will. We're going to have high score competitions, esports stuff, mystery gamer feel, so works. Going out all out on it. And Teo, I take it you're doing a dance event as well? He is, but it'd be great if we could add one more thing to the list. Maybe the premiere of a new indie game? But gosh, could you possibly meet my game, Magical Moon Cuties? If you'll allow us the honors. Have I given you the elevator pitch yet? All I know is there's magical schoolgirls and I'm intrigued. It's a competitive cooperative puzzle game where people have to work together to match all the magical orbs before their opponents can. Think 3-player magical drop, but with combo attacks. Everyone plays as a different adorable magical schoolgirl, hence the cuties part. Sounds better than the last time I heard it. Right, I'm pretty excited to pretty excited to share Magical Moon Cuties to the world. I've mostly been doing some very selective demos for media outlets today, but so far the general public hasn't been allowed to play it. I'm looking for the perfect place and time to release it. Big publicity would mean I might land a manufacturing contract or a publisher if I can do a wide release. G1 Game Day might be a good choice for that, but I'm gonna need a little more convincing. What else you got? Okay, Dan, don't blow this. There's Teo, it's all about the heart of the arcade, and then think of the exposure. Also think about paying her, if we're not gonna go with basic gear. Michelle's mentioned earlier she likes an arcade that has heart and soul. I should appeal to that. You aren't gonna find an arcade that has more spirit than the Funplex. Everyone who frequents there, employees and patrons alike, want nothing more for this event than to succeed. It is our chance to show the world our dreams. We've been pouring all of our combined energy into making G1 Game Day victorious. Teo, myself, all the staff, all the gamers. Magical Moon Cuties on our side, we can just bring even more heart to this affair. The perfect fit for the kind of friendly atmosphere we want, bringing people together. Oh, he got me right in the feels. Must really want to play Magical Moon Cuties, too. Fair enough, I was just sassy anyway. After discussing with Teo, I already knew I was going to show Magical Moon Cuties at the Funplex. Love that enthusiasm, though. Really? Really, I mean, it's either the Funplex or Deco's Palace. Deco is the heavyweight champion of the arcade world. It's not a good fit for my dreams. Great, so it's settled? Think so. I know so. Magical Moon Cuties will have its first playable showing to the public at G1 Game Day. I'll hold my prototype cabinet over to your arcade the day before so you can help get it set up. Appreciate you keeping it hidden until the event, though. I already bought a mystery concealing tarp for our rare game release. Heck, what's one more mystery concealing tarp between friends? It must be an event to remember, and I'm thrilled. I can't wait to share the news with everyone. Dan, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Oh, I should really be thanking you. Sorry to cut this convo off, Michelle, your next interview is here. Mark from Hexagon. Is it a Polygon and someone from Hexagon? Got it. It's so hard to keep track of all these different media outlets. Man, it's been great. My people will call your people, or whatever they do these days. I expect your social media to explode later today. Ta! And in a flash, Michelle wandered back into a crowd of people, her friend leading her into the next interview. Leaving me standing in shock, unable to believe what had just happened. A top indie designer premiering at my event? I imagine the alluring smiling faces of anime magical schoolgirls. I could practically hear them cheering me on. I knew everything would be okay. This is my life?
Huh?
Oh, nothing, just musing to myself. Out loud, nonetheless. No worries, I do that all the time. Mostly when I'm alone, though.
Love it.
Overall, that went really well. Glad that Michelle was really excited to bring her game to the Funplex. Yeah, me too. Honestly, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. But with Ashley helping me with the hype and the cosplay contests, I feel like G1 Game Day is going to be amazing. That's the spirit, I never doubted you for a second. I was about to reply with a totally witty retort about doubting in time, However, we were interrupted by the sounds of a bell chime. The hall will be closing in 30 minutes. Over already? I was just getting started. I'd barely seen anything yet. I could do this for at least another 4 hours. I'm frightened and confused as to how you still have so much energy left, Teo. I amaze even myself sometimes. As for me, I was exhausted, allowing yawns to escape from my mouth. I'm officially pooped, ready to go home. I still want to squeeze in a couple more games before the hall closes. Gonna have to drag you out of the hall once it closes, aren't they? Kicking and screaming. Thanks for your help with G1 Game Day today. Hey, that's what friends are for. I'm glad to have you as a friend. Ditto. Be back at the arcade, Dan. With our pleasantries exchanged, I left Teo to finish the dying seconds of Max in the Indie Mega Arcade. All in all, hey, look, actually succeeded. All in all, a successful day.
Beep beep.
Dan, you have a new text. Operation Hot Dog Takedown mission complete. Asset extracted and heading home for a leisurely bath and some anime. Huh? The actor of the video scientist snuck away.
Good work.
Look at the screens. They're flying airing there now. Wow, I didn't know Ashley was a hacker. Maybe we should stop tips. I like the Funplex to commit fewer felonies rather than more, Iris. Okay. Right, time to head home. I promised I would meet Juniper just outside the main exit of the hall, and that's exactly where I was headed. The rush of the fresh air hit me as I pushed the double glass doors open. It was nice. Refreshing. And had a much better smell than the one I had been around all day. I will say, this is super accurate. Cons are great. Cons are super fun. But that moment where you get back outside again and it's natural light, or it's dark, even if it's like already gone, the sun's already gone down by the time you leave. Just that rush of actual fresh air as opposed to being in the convention all day, as amazing as conventions are, it's just like Also, I can't wait to see next time we can go to East. There is an art school next to the there's an art school that has a park right next to the the place we would go for that RT meetup that we talked about. And every year it would be a different art installation. One year it was light up seesaws that played a different note when you hit the bottom of either one. But like everyone had a different note. One had these big like rainbow spiraling prisms you could physically spin, and they're mirrored. It's always interesting to see what's in that plaza, what big installation goes in there. But yeah, that first hit of fresh air after being in a convention hall for like 8 hours is just like, I love the convention, but I love this too. Didn't have to wait long until I saw Juniper. She bounced happily up to me. So, how was your first Max, Dan? It was... the amount of support I got from my friends today was amazing. I know I can always count on them, and I feel like we've bonded closer as friends. I can't wait to go back next year. With a better plan. As to be expected with a convention. Although in your case, you really outdid yourself and got smacked with 300% of what anyone else would have. Yeah? How do you figure? Well, most people drop my Max, play some games, maybe attend a panel or two, do some shopping. They're here to be catered to. You, on the other hand, were doing the catering. And like any good caterer, that means spinning plates and doing 12 different things at once. You found interesting ways to push G1 Game Day and promote the Funplex as a whole. You worked your butt off to do it, so rather than attending Max, you were Max. It feels that way. I'm totally drained.
Ooh.
Kinda envy you, you know? It sounds like you had some great adventures today. I'm not designing that flyer. I didn't do that much beyond playing a few games and buying cute t-shirts and stuff. Well, let me tell you, they're really super cute shirts. I'm glad I could support you, though, even if it was just, by dueling up a flyer. Hey, don't sell yourself short. That flyer looked super professional. I mean, no fun Comic Sans, but still pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. I really enjoy doing stuff like that. don't exactly get a lot of opportunities at the office to express myself. Okay, let's go home and get some real rest. We've both earned it. In fact, I'd say we took it, Juniper don't, to the max. Ah, hee. After that moment, the rest of the evening was a blur. I was going to make a joke about how they're just going to harden the episode at the end of, that pun, but we got a little more. After that moment, the rest of the evening was a blur. I knew that Juniper and I took the train back home, heated up some pizza bagels, and I safely made it into my comfy bed. I think I was still in shock. After the beginning of this day, I thought that no one was going to know about G1 Game Day. You'd be stuck as a relatively unknown mom-and-pop arcade. But now it seems like the whole world knows. Which is great. Also pretty nerve-wracking. I sighed heavily, letting all my mixed emotions flow over me. There is no turning back now. What I set in motion will stay in motion. It can only get bigger and better from here. At least that's what I'm going to keep telling myself as I drift to sleep. I'm proud of what I accomplished today, and I can't wait to tell everyone at the Funplex about all I've done. I hope they're proud of me too. Before I know it, G1 Game Day will be upon us. Reckoning will be at hand. No, wait. That's level 3. There's the achievement. Take it to the max. Cleared level 3. Winner is you. Now let's see your score. I think you and Ashley are having a good time, so we've got a good amount in Teo. It's Queen Bee and Gavin. I want to see if I can get an opportunity to get some points into Queen Bee and Gavin before the end of the game, so it might not be perfect, but I'd like to, at least have support for everyone somewhere, but mainly Ashley. Or still a gentle, sweet, compassionate soul. I think kindly is the route that most people take. Humor and steady are pretty even at the moment, and no basic. Also, you've scored 12,950 points. Go for the high score. Actually, I don't know what the high score is, but hey, go for it anyway. Oh, save your game. Absolutely. Although, with it saving on the chapter change, the chapters are slightly wrong. Alright. Oh, no, they're right. Alright, never mind. Because if I load, no, now it is player versus player. See the next chapter. Alright. But I'm going to call it there because I don't want to push my throat too far. And like I said, it's now going to work out perfectly. Unless something weird comes up, it should work out that I can do Chapter 4 on Monday, Chapter 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, also, I guess while we're here, we have some concepts, including early Blender sketches of what the arcade looks like. A test sketch of it from the outside. And early cosplay sketches, including the frog or ferret cosplay. But obviously... Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I'm glad Final Pinky's neck doesn't look as flaccid as it does in this version. But yeah, some early sketches. We get more as we play. Oh. We have the full picture of Wyvern's Keep. And an early sketch. And then it looks like we would have gotten more for... Had we done the other two games. We would have had more options, but we didn't do those, so... Looks like it's probably one for each chapter, one for each ending. And maybe specific ones for other, achievements that we could get. Also, I don't know if you can do it on the console version, but... That documentary? This documentary. I don't know what this is. We'll check that out later, because I know there was another thing where it actually talked about... That might be a documentary. I think it was kind of a hidden thing originally. where it actually talks about like how you can get arcade games working in your home, including the moral gray area of emulating and legal gray area, because it's like, you know, technically it's you're not allowed to get ROMs, but you're supposed to have a backup of the game. So it's up to you if you wanted to do that or not. Anyway. Let us bounce back over here. Now Spotify not work. Or think about working, maybe. Oh. Music. Yeah, it'll work when it feels like it. Anyway. Maybe we'll get some music for the background, but Spotify is being silly. But that's going to do it today. There we go. I just skipped on the next track. That'll do it for today. I said we will be back on... Alright. We'll be back on Monday here. We will be back on... I'll be streaming on Sunday for G1 Game Days. I'll be playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. If you have it, if you've got it, come join us at twitch.tv/G1_Game Days. We'll have instructions on how to join, or you can just add that friend code right up there, 1969, 1711, 1985. You can plug that info in and just send me a friend request so you'll be ready for Sunday. If not, it's not a problem for me to add friends, add friends when we get there. So we're probably just going to do a friend lobby. Unless we have a lot of people, but I feel like we don't get to 12 that often, at least not unless we're actually doing a tournament event big thing. And this is more just a chill, let's just play some Mario Kart because Mario Kart's fun. Yeah, also, Stump will be streaming probably all weekends. Dazzy should be going live today. I think today is Miitopia Day. Tomorrow will be Multiplayer Madness like usual, and then we'll get back to Yakuza on Sunday. Go check their channel out, which unfortunately I don't have a button for, but I think I can select Stumped. You can see that one as well. I think Dazzy will probably go live in an hour and a half. But I'm not going to sit here and talk for an hour and a half to fill that time. Also tonight, make sure to go say hi to Joe. I'm not sure exactly what she's playing tonight, but she postponed yesterday because we were both not feeling well yesterday, just exhausted and kind of just crappy and hot, and it was just like, no, we were just like not having it basically on yesterday, so we both didn't stream. She'll be streaming tonight instead. Like I said, I don't know what she's streaming. If she's still hanging out and hearing this, I'm sure she'll let us know. But she'll be going, I think, 9 p.m. tonight, our time, 9 or 10. Can't remember what her Thursday time normally is. Might be 9. And, I don't know if she'd do Dragon Age or if she's going to try to get friends together for multiplayer, which is normally what Thursday is. So I kind of don't know what she's doing tonight. But check her out. Check out Stumped. I'll see you over on... I will see you 9 p.m. Eastern. Joe doesn't know yet either. Okay. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, or Eastern Daylight Time over on Game Days. I'll be doing Mario Kart, and then I'll be back here on Monday for Arcade Spirits Chapter 4. Looks like it was called Player versus Player. Anyway, y'all. All those shoutouts out of the way. All the different places you can see us, support us. Support either My Extra Life, support G1 Game Days' Extra Life for the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, or support Joe buying back the microphone she used to audition for the next Arcade Spirits. A lot of ways you could try to help us support, get the word out. Super appreciate y'all. Again, and I can't say it enough, but again, the fact that is 1,000 and it's June is still won't blow my mind until the end of the year. So again, thank you everybody who has donated, who has spread the word, and has made it so we're going to hit uncharted heights from this channel as far as Extra Life goes. Thank you everybody. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. If the weather is great where you're at, enjoy the weather. Try to get out. Try to get outside and enjoy this weekend. And probably technically the last weekend in spring or fall if you're Southern Hemisphere. Anyway, have a good one, guys. I'm real bad at endings, so have a good one, y'all.